And a very warm welcome to Ken Tonight live here on KMTV. I'm Gabriel Morris and here are your top stories on Friday, the 5th of September. Blockage on Bluebell Hill. Kent County Council plans 12 weeks of lane closures.
Normally, before, when they done Kent County Council, when they done road closures, they send us letter in advance. For this one, I haven't received any letter. Compensation, they need to compensate us as a small business.
We need a permanent solution. St John's Ambulance Brass Band on the Isle of Sheppey still looking for a new home.
Of course it hurts. When you think you've given your life up for them and it's just taken away, and it hurts very, very much.
And 10 years of tech. Medway Neurological Network puts on showcase and celebrates its 10th anniversary of innovation.
We have 6 in 100,000 people within the UK who suffer with a neurological disease.
Well, thank you for your company this evening. Our top story tonight is Kent County Council has announced 12 weeks of staggered lane closures on Bluebell Hill while it carries out essential works, and a temporary speed limit of 40 miles per hour will also be in place on the stretch. Currently is at the national speed limit. Well, we're joined by reporter Alfie Rowe, who's live at the scene. It's the middle of the rush hour traffic. Roads looking quite calm out there at the moment. But Alfie, what reason has the local authority given for these lane closures?
Well, Gabriel, although not speaking to me directly, the Kent County Council has released a statement saying that the lane closures are necessary in order to carry out essential survey work. What does this mean? Well, they're gathering information on the ground and drainage conditions for the project, which will inform information for the A229 Bluebell Hill Improvement Scheme. Now, this is a £250 million scheme by the council in order to address, ironically, congestion, as well as road safety conditions between the M2 and the M20.
And we can see some pictures there heading into rush hour this evening, looking quite good. Cars going at the speed limit. But when these staggered lane closures come in, can drivers expect big disruptions to their journey?
Well, Gabriel, with a temporary speed limit now of 40 miles per hour between the Lawsleys and Cobbury roundabout, a little bit of disruption is to be expected. However, the Kent County Council have insisted they will try their hardest to minimise the disruption. They'll do multiple ways of doing this. They'll have survey teams operating in multiple locations simultaneously. They intend to extend working hours, including doing overnight shifts when this is possible, and they also said they'll make use of lane closures from other projects in order to limit traffic management which is needed. Whether this will work in practice, we'll just have to see.
And you mentioned this was to prepare for the Bluebell Hill improvement scheme to improve congestion. Has this been a major problem for the A229 more broadly?
Well, Gabriel, as you can see now, admittedly, congestion is not too much of a problem, but the A229 does have a bit of a reputation when it comes to congestion, hence this scheme was put forward. And people have trepidation about the new plans to put these lane closures in place. Just earlier, I spoke to someone who works at a diner along this stretch of road, and he expressed his concerns.
That's not good for me, for as a small business. They're going to affect my business. Normally, before, when they done Kent County Council, when they done road closures, they send us letter in advance. For this one, I haven't received any letter. Compensation, they need to compensate us as a small business.
Interesting stuff there. Alfie, thank you so much for bringing us those details this evening. Now, the St John Ambulance Brass Band on the Isle of Sheppey has found a temporary new home on the island. The unit was originally due to be evicted last month due to running costs and the building's stability. However, the band are still calling for a permanent solution to be found to ensure members can keep playing. Well, our community reporter Henry Luck has been to visit them at one of their latest band practices to find out more.
The last nationwide brass band of the St John Ambulance are still standing, but only for a few weeks longer. They were granted a goodwill extension by the organisation and are now due to be evicted on the 23rd of September.
Very sad. Disappointed. But the good work that our bandmaster and other members of the band, to see what they're trying to do to save our headquarters, of course it hurts. When you think you've given your life up for them and it's just taken away, and it hurts very, very much.
All the members of the Isle of Sheppey St John Ambulance Brass Band have written on the wall behind me to leave a lasting message and a memorial of a building that has hosted many years of music, fun, and most importantly, family. However, they've been granted temporary accommodation at the Sheppey Rugby Club, but they're still looking for a permanent place for next year.
St John have confirmed that this is a temporary solution for the band until a more central spot hire for the network, as they call it now, can be found, but they did confirm that they will not be on Sheppey.
The brass band is also receiving help from a Kent County Council councillor who is fighting to preserve this iconic piece of Sheppey history by keeping it where it is.
It is our ambition to get over 5,000 signatures and then go to the headquarters of St John Ambulance and put it on their desk to those officials. Their decision has undermined not only this band, this brilliant band, but the people of the Isle of Sheppey, and we will not stand for it whatsoever.
St John Ambulance say they're continuing to work with the brass band and local volunteers to find a suitable space in Sheppey whilst finding more permanent solutions across the county. The choice to close the unit came following a review of the building which confirmed it was no longer suitable for the charity's needs. It's clear that no matter whether they stay or move to a different place, this brass band is determined to keep playing the same tune. Henry Luck for KMTV on the Isle of Sheppey.
Now, the Duchess of Kent has passed away at the age of 92. Buckingham Palace has announced she passed away peacefully last night, surrounded by her family. The Duchess Catherine was the oldest member of the royal family and the first cousin of the late Queen Elizabeth II. A familiar figure at Wimbledon, she handed over trophies and comforted those who had lost. The Duchess was also a great music lover who supported music charities and taught music in Hull, where she was known by pupils as Miss Kent. Following her passing, the flag at Buckingham Palace has now been lowered to half-mast. Now, on September the 7th, this Sunday, the government will be testing an emergency alarm system to everybody's mobile phones, meaning compatible phones up and down the country will vibrate and make a loud siren-like sound. The alert is set for 3 p.m. this Sunday and has said this alarm is to warn people of life-threatening emergencies such as extreme weather. But for those who have a hidden phone due to domestic abuse relationships, this drill is said it could pose a risk. Kristen Hawthorne reports.
This Sunday, September the 7th, an emergency alert will be tested on all compatible phones and tablets across the UK. This means that at 3 p.m. on Sunday, your phone will vibrate and make a loud siren-like sound. I went to Rochester to speak to the public to find out how much they know about this test.
I guess the idea is it's good, but I think there's a bit of thought around why exactly are they doing it, because there's not been a lot of information. We've been told that it's happening, but not quite why.
I think it's a good idea, but I do wonder if we were going to get a nuclear bomb, whether actually an emergency alert would be any use. What would we do?
I'm not sure what we're meant to really do about it. I know it's just an alert, but an alert for what? What's it meant to be alerting?
It's a practice for if there was a big
storm.
Well, just a huge problem.
Oh, okay.
A government. Well, I'm not explaining that very well, but it's. It's
Well,
a way
I think
of
you'll find most
alerting the
people will be
nation.
in the same view as us. Don't really know what it's for.
According to the government's website, the emergency alert system is used to warn people if there's a danger to life nearby, including extreme weather. Regular testing ensures the system is functioning correctly, should it need to be used in a life-threatening emergency. Although typically no action is required to get ready for the test, those who need to keep a phone hidden will need to prepare. One way you can do this is by opting out on your settings. This will prevent any future alerts.
In terms of any queries and people who are concerned about the risk to them from these alerts, we would say that obviously we don't want to alert that there is a concealed device to the abuser. It could be then potentially putting the victims and their families further at risk as well. So we advise either to turn the phones off during this period on Sunday, or we have actually given instructions on how to disable the alarms on our social media platforms for both iPhone and Android phones, or you can go to the government's website for instructions and further information as well.
Up until now, the government has activated the alert system on 5 occasions to warn people of genuine dangers, such as for Storm Dara. So this is not the first time the alarm has been sounded, and it likely won't be the last. So best to be prepared. Kristen Hawthorne for KMTV, Rochester.
Yeah, this Sunday, 3 p.m. If you are out and about, do get us a video and send it to us. But we'll be back with more news after this break. Goodbye.
The Care and Politics Show, live on KMTV. Join us every
welcome back to the It's Kent Tonight. I'm getting the wrong show there. Welcome back to Kent Tonight live here on KMTV. Now, a leisure centre in Ramsgate has unveiled a plaque in memory of a long-standing member. Doug Well passed away earlier this year after attending the leisure centre for more than 30 years. Relatives joined staff this week to unveil the plaque, which has been placed above Well's favourite rowing machine. His granddaughter said they were overwhelmed by the love and friendship shown to Doug by both customers and staff over the past 30 years, adding the gym was like Doug's second home. The plaque will remain in place as a permanent tribute to his life and inspiration he gave to others. Yeah, I'm sure he'll remain an inspiration there above the rowing machine. Well, Watling Street in Canterbury has been closed following an appearance of a 6-foot-deep sinkhole. Take a look at this. Southern Water and Kent Highways were called to a suspected collapsed sewer at the end of August, and the road has been closed to traffic between St Margaret Street and Rose Lane junctions. There you go, that's a picture of the sinkhole then. This week, the carriageway has been ripped up and with parts of the old pipeline lying in the ground. Southern Water says it's relining a 5-metre stretch of the sewer and they aim to complete the work by the end of next week at the latest. Now, don't forget you can keep up to date with all your latest stories across Kent by logging on to our website. It's kmtv.co.uk. There you'll find all our latest reports, including this one.
TikTok Cafe in Rainham closed in May due to rising costs and reduced foot traffic. Nearly a month after reopening, they're celebrating their return, but high parking fees and other financial pressures remain a concern.
Definitely the parking prices have been hiked, and also the other thing is the parking is not free here. And in most of the shopping centers, like if you go to the other shopping centers, you have 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and somewhere even 6 hours parking is free. And then there you can see the people visit a lot because they are free from paying parking.
The price hikes aren't just hitting businesses, they're affecting staff and the wider community too.
Absolutely ridiculous with the council. They need to generate more revenue, I understand that, but they've got to provide more parking spaces as well. It should be controlled. It should be a gradual increase, not a very big hike in parking prices. It's just no, Rainham is turning into a ghost town.
It's a disgraceful the way it's gone up in leaps and bounds. Whereas you pay £1.90 in Rainham for half an hour, but then you go over to Dockside and you get the first hour free, and then even then for 2 hours. It's cheap. It's a lot cheaper than here.
The other issue obviously is that my staff have to park locally to be able to come in and work, so that's impacting them. So in terms of the local economy, it's certainly not helping. It's not promoting business, not promoting trade, and for our local residents, it's certainly impacting them.
A Medway Council spokesperson said it is widely known that local authorities across the country are under increasing financial pressure, and unfortunately this meant we were faced with some difficult decisions in setting this year's budget, including an increase in parking fees. Nevertheless, Medway remains a great location for business, with more than 14,000 businesses located there, and we are committed to supporting them as best we can. As rising costs continue to ripple through Rainham, members of the public are calling for change before more beloved businesses are potentially forced to shut their doors for good. Maisie Walker for KMTV, Rainham.
Well, if you've been out and about today, I'm sure you could feel it was a little bit hotter than it has been for the past couple of days. Is it going to stay that way? Let's have a look at the weather forecast for the coming days. Well, going into this evening, clear skies with temperatures reaching 15 in Dartford, lows are 12 in Ashford, low wind speeds in the west. Going into tomorrow morning, winds picking up to 6, highs of 17 across the county with sunny skies. Tomorrow morning, highs of 22 in Canterbury, lows of 17 in Dartford. And for the rest of the week, a sunny start with some cloud on Tuesday, temperatures starting at 26 but dropping in the start of next week. And finally, the Medway Neurological Network is celebrating its 10th anniversary and held a special showcase with talks, stalls and panels and a lot more. It's all to demonstrate the technology and aid that people can receive for motor neuron diseases and mental health disorders. Bringing together more than 30 CEOs, companies and startups, our reporter Kai Wei went down to the event to find out more.
The Medway Neurological Network is celebrating its 10th anniversary, showcasing its latest innovations over at the Medway campus.
We have our Neurotech 25 event today. We are celebrating 10 years of being formed and carrying out events over the years to promote the public's understanding and knowledge of neurological diseases. At the moment, we have 6 in 100,000 people within the UK who suffer with a neurological disease. And of course, with that person, there is very often a partner and family supporting them.
What it does for the residents of Medway is it brings all the technologies that are currently out there, and you'll see from the number of stands that are there and people demonstrating, into one place, because it can be quite a minefield to understand what is exactly out there. And if you don't know it's out there, how do you ever know to look for it? It enables people to come and listen to the advancements. You've got a lot of experts talking, but also they can go and play with equipment, they can talk to people in similar circumstances, and they can be signposted through what can be a really, really difficult time.
The tech on display includes brain scan technology, educative tools and software that's designed to help people with motor neuron diseases and many other health conditions.
We have an app called Lift, which is designed to make music therapy and music activities accessible to people who don't play a musical instrument. And we're concentrating on people who've got cognitive impairment. So we're working with people with autism and dementia, a number of other conditions. I think we've got about 4 pilot groups. It's going really well. We're continuing to do those pilot groups. But now we want to take it out into schools, into dementia groups, get it out there.
The stalls weren't limited to technology though, as companies like Carers First, Parkinson's UK and many more had stalls to raise awareness and support.
START is a disability outreach project. It includes a strong peer network, and we have a social media and we run workshops as well. I found out about START through my emails, that it's a disabled-led program. I didn't know about START, but it was when I met other disabled students in the university who have autism, who have ADHD, who have a disability, and they have told me how much START has changed them as a person. Honestly, I just don't know what I would do without it.
Aiming to help others mentally and physically, the latest advancements in technology are no doubt shaping the future of the medical field in Kent. Kai Wei for KMTV in Chatham.
Well, here to talk more about the event as well as his startup company is Stuart Grimshaw. You saw him in Kai's report there. He's the CEO of Headsoup and the creator of Lift. Stuart, thank you so much for joining us live this evening. Really interesting startup you got there, and a bit of innovation that you displayed yesterday at the event in Medway. Tell us a little bit more about it and what it's used for, because people can create music who maybe don't have the traditional motor skills to play a more traditional instrument.
Yeah. So the sort of the core tech has been in development for a couple of years, and a fortuitous meeting at the back end of last year, and then a kind of experimental prototype that we did in January with a group that works with dementia patients, led to our company completely pivoting towards people with cognitive impairments. It was such a good fit, and we had such good results from even the rudimentary version of the app that I threw together in January.
How does it all work?
It took off. A lot of introductions led to a lot of other introductions. So, and here we are. So,
yeah, we can see some pictures on the screen.
We're just releasing this month.
Yeah, we can see some pictures on the screen here now. How does it work? Is there some sort of AI technology there, or tell us more?
Not in our software. We're using, I think the iPad uses AI to do the gesture recognition to tell our software where the hands are. So we sort of we hook into the iPad's software to monitor where the hands are, and after that we take over. And the music side of it doesn't actually use any AI. It's just it's old school software. It's just programmed to make music.
I'm sure it's been really enjoyed by the users as well, right?
Yeah, it's gone down really well. So we've been using it with various groups of people with different sort of cognitive impairments and conditions, but we've had huge success with children with autism, which we've been working hard on in certain schools this last term, and then dementia patients. Those are the two areas where we found the level of engagement really high, and it's made a big difference. And we've had some quite moving sessions with people from those two groups. So it's been great. It's been very it's been a lot of fun the last 8 months.
And you were at the Neurotech event yesterday. Tell us a little bit about the importance of having this every year. It was in its 10th year.
That was great. So this is our first year. We got connected to that via the Headway Group, which is a brain injuries charity, and Jane Etheridge there sent us. So got us connected up there. So it's the first time we've attended. And it was brilliant. It was really good. We ended up talking a lot of sort of tech talk between us and firms that are in a similar space. We ended up speaking to a lot of groups about possible addressing people with Parkinson's, which is not something we've looked at. So I think that sort of interchange of different firms and different techies, sort of with different technologies, is really promising. So it's like a little mini sort of Silicon Valley in Chatham. It was great. It was really good. It was a really good afternoon. Very productive.
Stuart, thank you so much for joining us. I'm afraid we're out of time, but thank you for joining us this evening. Well, that's all we've got time for this evening on Kent Tonight. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.